And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
The president of Asmodee Editions brought Timeline up to me at Origins, Gen Con this past year, and he said, this game is going to be big. Now, he said the same thing to me about Seven Wonders, and lo and behold, he was correct. But Timeline, when he told me the idea of sticking cards into Timeline, I thought, I'm just not seeing this one being big, mostly because of replayability. What am I even talking about? Let's look at it. We have here a deck of cards that show different things: satellites, the diving suit, bronze, the railroad, the metric system, the violin, the microscope, Lord of the Rings, the first volume. And so we will choose one of these at random, the greatest instrument ever, the accordion, and place it in the middle of the table, turn it over to show that it's 1829. This constitutes the play area of this game. Each other player will then place 6 cards in front of them. So let's say I have satellites, diving suit, bronze, railroad, and metric system, and the violin. Those are the cards that are in front of me. So I now pick one of these cards. So let's say, I'll say the railroad. I'm pretty sure the railroad came before the accordion. So I put it here before the accordion, and then I flip it over. I was right, 1763. Ha ha! Now, the next player, they're going to take one of their cards, and they can put it either before the railroad, in between the railroad and the accordion, or after the accordion. So the diving suit. I think that was between the railroad and the accordion. I turn it over, 1679. I was wrong. So when you're wrong, you discard the card, and then you draw another card to take its place and place that in front of you. Your object is to get rid of all the cards in front of you. The first person to do that wins. I'm not going to show you anymore because I don't want to show you all the dates on these cards. Not like I think you're going to memorize them anyway. But that's basically how the game works. You're trying to figure out where, and as the timeline here gets longer, you have more and more spots to put them, and sometimes it can get pretty hairy because you're guessing by a few years whether something goes in there. And sometimes it's best to save something that you're pretty sure, like maybe I'm pretty sure I know when satellites was, and save that to the end because I can stick that one out. First person to get rid of all their cards is the winner. Now you have to realize that timeline, this is one of 6 different sets. This is the invention set. There's also discoveries, historical events, monuments, arts and literature, and music. Music would be cool. And even this one, even though it is inventions, has a few cards from the other sets in it. Kind of sort of, I think when you mix all the sets together, you're going to get a really cool game. This game has worked really well with everyone I played it. Everyone has really enjoyed it. And yeah, you could argue that there's a replayability problem, but most of the dates are so obscure that you're really going to not remember them anyway. And if you do remember them, then hey, the game has been educational. I think this game will work best when it, like I said, when it comes mixed with all the different sets. And I'm hoping that there will be a deluxe set that you can buy, and that will be a great party-style game. So, while this is not a game that I'm going to want to pull out all the time, it is a game that has worked really well. The concept is incredibly simple. There's a lot of laughter and people making fun of others for, you know, picking the dates that they do. And maybe even some arguments over, is that really the date type situation? Did they go to Wikipedia? But for the most part, I think it's a cool idea. And it does do its job well for how small the game is and portable. I think that you will find that it has more legs than I initially thought that it did.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.